Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. Welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. My name is Gina Pike. I am so happy that you're here today with us. Today we're going to be doing another episode of What Are You Knitting? I believe we're at episode 25. And this, for you guys who might be new to my channel, this is where I share what I am currently working on. And then I ask you guys to share down in the comments below what you're working on, what you might be knitting, what you might be crocheting. And I love hearing what you guys are working on. One thing I want to say before we get into all of this is this video might be a little bit longer today because I have 3 projects to share. And I have 4 people who've shared stuff with me to share. So grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, or your water, because it is the summer. Sit down and let's just chat about my knitting and some other people's knitting. And then please don't forget to share down in the comments below your knitting or in crochet. I always say knitting, but I mean knitting and crochet. I hope you know that. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first project I'm going to share with you is a finished project. Now, what is it? It is what I'm currently wearing. This is the top I made with the One Cow collab. I'm doing a collaboration with 2 other YouTube creators, Lorraine of chatelainmakes and Barb of the Knotty Yarnies. Please go check out their channels. We've been doing this collaboration since the beginning of May, or May 10th. It's still ongoing, so there's still time if you want to join us and make a top. We are making the America Tank top from Gina of On the Hook Crochet, and we have a Facebook group which is called One Cow Collab. I'll put all the information for this collaboration in the description box below. We have 2 more live meetings. The next one's going to be on my channel on July the 19th, and then we'll do a wrap up of the whole project on July the 26th on Barb of the Knotty Yarnies. So here's my top I made. Now this is a tank top pattern, but the great thing about this pattern is it's more of a recipe, and everybody's top is turning out a little bit different because you make this for yourself. It's not like a pattern that you follow. You have to take measurements, you have to evaluate and think. So my top turned out extremely different than everybody else's. I'll put a picture here of me standing up, but I'll go through some of the details. I made my top extra long because I like longer flowing tops. Let me see if I can show you this. It's still flowing down, and at the bottom here I see how I seamed the sides. I put a single crochet seam, and then I split the seam, and then I even added beads to the front of my top and hearts. And then I made the neck a little bit shorter, and then I added a sleeve. Most people's tops are finishing here, and I went ahead and added a V-stitch sleeve to both sides because I don't really like my arms. So that's what that looks like. And if you want to see more about the details, please go check out the live we just did. It is on Lorraine's channel, chatelainmakes. I go into a lot more detail about what I did, but I just wanted to show this with you. This yarn is True Boo from Lion brand. It's 100% rayon from bamboo. It is so soft, and it feels a little heavy, but it's very lightweight, very breathable. I should have showed you this when I stood up. The fabric on this has amazing drape. Sorry, I got my tank top on, but look at how the drape on this yarn. It's really flowy and nice and just very comfortable, very, very comfortable. So I'm really glad I made it with this yarn. This is my first top I've ever made. I learned quite a few things. So please go check out those videos where we share all the great nitty-gritty details. I just wanted to share quickly that I did. This is my finished object. my first crochet top wearable. This colorway, I don't think I mentioned, is called Thistle. The next thing I want to share with you, I've shared this before, but I am a little bit further along. I'm actually getting close to finishing this project. This is a shawl. The pattern is by Bev of Boo Knits. She's one of my favorite designers, and I've made many of her shawls, but I've kind of got this all tangled. Here we go. This is the Moonflower shawl, and this shawl is one of the shawl patterns that's on my bucket list, so I feel good that I'm knocking that off. The yarn I'm using is from Marsh out of Germany. It's a gradient yarn, merino silk in the colorway Sepia. It's 875 yards per 100 grams. So it's a lace weight yarn. And here's my shawl. It starts down here. It's going to look like this when you wear it, like a crescent shape. It's going to look like this when you wear it. And as you can see, the lace detail are these little stalks and little flowers, and at the bottom of each little flower there is a bead. And this will all open up when I block it. But this yarn that I'm using is a gradient yarn, so you can see how the gradient's starting to come in. And I'm about 13 rows, I think, from finishing. And at the bottom, you can see how it's starting to really open up and starting to get really super lacy. And it's going to have these beautiful picot edging, which will be really pretty. But the beads are starting to really add up on these edges. You guys can see that. Maybe if I hold it like that, it'd be better. And just love it, love it, love it. And these beads are Miyake beads. Here's the rest of how my yarn's going to look with that. So it'll definitely have a nice finished colored edge. And again, I have like 13 rows left. These beads are Miyake round seed beads 6/0 in the color lined mocha, and that's what they look like. And loving making that shawl, and I can't believe I've only got like 13 more rows. Now the rows are very long, so it might take some time still to finish, and then of course it's got the picot edge bind off, but I still think this is going to be really beautiful. I'm really glad that I made it. And like I said, I've been wanting to make this shawl since the moment I first put my eyes on the pattern, because I love the stalks and the little flowers with the beads. So I'm excited to finish this and can say I made one of my items on my bucket list for this year. The next thing I want to share with you guys is something that I've been in the back of my head. I've been thinking about. A lot of times when I post my lace shawls, you guys say it's nice that it's knitted, but I wish it were crocheted. And I want to share with you, I started crocheting, and I've always loved lace. It's what I'm drawn to. I love the intricacy of it. I love the details of it. I love the complicatedness of it. If I'm doing a pattern, I will not lie, doing these double crochets over and over was a little hard for me, because my mind doesn't work like that. It wants complicated stuff to keep it. I guess I have short attention. If I do the same thing over, I just zone out. So, but the reason why I share this is because when I first got into stuff, I found a ton of crochet lace designers. I loved them, and there are a lot of crochet lace designers. You just have to really look. Like, let me give you some names: Doris Chan, Vashti Braha, Kristen Amdahl, Lily Go. Now today I'm going to share with you, I've started another project. This is another shawl. You know I'm not a shawl person. I had you guys help me out. Do you guys remember the poll I asked you guys, or it was a vote? I posted a picture of 3 beads on some yarn. This was the yarn I posted. This yarn is by Diana Dye, And this is her bamboo yarn, 100% bamboo. This is a heavy lace yarn, so it's in between fingering and in between lace. And that's what the thread looks like. And it's got these blue speckles in it and some yellow speckles as well. Just a beautiful yarn. All her yarns are gorgeous. If you haven't ever tried Diana's yarns, I think she's my favorite. It's hard to pick one, but I love her yarns. I want every one of her colors. I had these beads on there, and I asked you guys to help me pick. Now, that was really, really fun. And you guys are not going to believe this, but bead number 1 and bead number 3 were neck and neck. I mean, they were neck and neck. I would get a vote for bead number 1, then I get a vote for bead number 3, then I get a vote for bead number 1, then I get a vote for bead number 3. And finally, something happened in the universe, and bead number 3 pulled ahead by 2 votes. I had like 50-something votes for each bead, and bead number 3 won by 2 votes. Now, bead number 2, if that was your choice, it didn't really lose by that many. I think it lost by maybe 9 votes under bead number 1. So everything was kind of neck and neck. And it was really fun and interesting to see everybody's different choice of beads. And I told you guys I would pick the bead that was chosen. So I'm using bead number 3, which is this really dark cobalt blue bead. Looks like that. And this is what it's looking like so far. Now I'm doing a crocheted lace shawl. The pattern is called Eternal Flame. The designer is Lily Go Designs. And I've knitted and crocheted her shawls before, and I've shown them here. And this is what I have so far. Let me hold it back. I haven't done very many. I've only done like 7, 8 rows. But this is the way it's looking so far. And I want to show you, this is how much it started with. I left the marker in. You start with 37 chains, and then you build on it. It gets bigger and bigger as you go. But I left the marker in because that was where my 37 chains was. And then it built on that. And this is also a charted pattern. She has the chart, and she has the text written out. And it's a little bit, you have to take measurements of your yarn because she wants you to use a certain amount of yarn before you move to the next part. But you can use a kitchen scale to do that. It's not hard. And I want to show you the lace, and I want to show you the beads. The beads I think are looking really beautiful on the yarn. Maybe I should put this behind it so you guys can see it better without me being behind it. But see how the beads are really popping on this lace? And I do want to show it up because I think once I block this, I think it's gonna be really hard to tell if it's even lace, if it's knitted or crocheted. I know sometimes when you crochet a shawl, it's easy to figure out, oh, that's crocheted, or oh, that's knitted. I think this one's gonna be really hard to figure out if it's knitted or crocheted. Now, you guys are experts. I'm sure you guys can figure it out, but I think it's really beautiful, and I think it rivals really close with my knitted shawl over here on the thing. And I'm having fun doing it, and I want you just to see all the beads that are being placed in there. And these stitches that I'm doing on this shawl are not hard. There's some shell stitches. There's going to be a flower stitch that I get into later on that I haven't done yet. But these are just easy shells and chains and like that. But that's what that's looking like. I think it's just going to make a really beautiful shawl. And the drape on this yarn is going to be really nice. And when I block it up, it'll just be, I think it's going to be really pretty. So I wanted to share that, maybe inspire you guys. Crochet lace can be just as beautiful as knitted lace. That's what I'm trying to say. I think they're in this world. I'm glad we have both of them. Both of them serve a purpose. And I think that if you can do both, crochet and knitting, you really are very talented, and you have a world of opportunity just open to you, because you can look at any pattern and go, I can do that. It doesn't matter if it's crochet or knitted. All right, so now we're getting to the part of the video where we talk about what you guys are knitting and what you guys have allowed me to share with you. Now, if any of you, I want to open this up as well. If any any of you guys want to share your knitting or crochet with me, with us here in this setting, all you have to do is email me a picture or pictures of your project to knitbymoonbeams@gmail.com, and please be sure to include some information about your project, the pattern, your inspiration, who you might be giving it to, the yarn, the needles or crochet hook you might be using, and or why you're even doing it, what inspired you to make this pattern. And now let's just get into it. The first project I'm going to be sharing here today is from Shari. Perfect name, right? She's sharing with us. Shari is sharing with us. This is Shari, Addicted to My Crocheting, Montgomery. And she has 2 projects to share with us today. The first project is some crochet and knitted washcloths. The green one is her knitted cloth, and the other ones are crocheted, and I think they look really great. I know she's working on her knitting, and I've often said that if you guys want to do a quick project to practice your knitting purl stitches, get your tensioning right, washcloths are the best thing to do because they're small, they're quick, and then you can move on to another stitch, try a different stitch so you don't get easily bored, and try different knitting stitches. These are gorgeous, Shari. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And then she also is going to share with us a shawl that she just finished doing as a test pattern. It's called the Alex shawl, and the yarn that she used is Hobium from the Etrophil puzzle, and I love it. I love those pinks. I just love those pinks. And the pattern is by Divine Debris. Oh, and I forgot to mention the color of the yarn is PZ008, in case you guys are interested in trying to recreate, this inspires you and you want to use that yarn for something else or this same shawl. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Shari. It is stunning, and whoever gets to keep that, if that's you or if you're giving as a gift, is very lucky. The next thing I want to share today is from Angela Wright. She has a vanilla sock. This is just half the sock. She's making this for her husband. It's a vanilla sock with a sweet potato heel, that pattern is from Cat Bordy, and it started with a 2x2 rib leg, and she's using Patton's Croy FX in a blue-green colorway. That is stunning, and your husband is so lucky that you're making him socks. And I hope the second sock is going well. And then the other thing she's sharing with us today, she shared the start of this with us, but she's getting close to finishing. And this is her night shift shawl. And that pattern is by, I think that's by Andrea Mowry. Beautiful designs, and this is a color work shawl, and I asked her if it was a lot of like slip stitch color work, and she said it was, which slip stitch color work is not that hard. You're sliding the 2 colors on a row, or you slide them, and so the knitting is doing a lot of the work, and it's not complicated stitches. And that's exactly what she said she was doing here, and it looks so good. I mean, all these colors you picked look amazing. There's yellows and purples and blue greens and grays. They look great together, and I can't wait to see this finished shawl. And I know you're going to really enjoy that, and thank you for sharing that with us. The next person who's going to be sharing with us is Teresa Knittingdancer. Now, Teresa won one of my giveaways a while back, and she won some of my turtle pearl yarn, and she won the colorway What Does It Mean, and that's the gray with the rainbow stripes. I just gave some away in my Cleaning Out My Yarn Room giveaway. And the first thing she's going to show us is a pair of socks that she knitted with that yarn, and it had a red mini skein. Look how cute these socks are. I want some of these socks. I'm going to have to order some more of that yarn because I think I gave it all away. These are adorable. Look at the rainbow stripes and the red heel and cuff. So cute. Teresa, you did a great job. The next item she made is a sweater, and she made it in a baby size. This is the Flax Light pattern by Tin Can Knits, and I love that pattern because it's a simple sweater pattern, but it gives you all the detail, the techniques and the details of how to make a sweater. And she made it in a baby size because she wanted to practice before she made an adult size for herself. And this is really cute, and she made some little socks to match. Adorable. And then she made, she's sharing another pair of socks that was from the leftover yarn. Really cute. And then the last thing she's sharing with us inspires me tremendously because I've been wanting to make, this is another thing off my bucket list. This is the butterfly papillon shawl. And she is sharing with me, she shared with me another shawl picture, which I'm not going to show because that's not my picture to share, but she showed just how when you have one color difference, the shawl looks totally different. And I love that about that, how in this it's short row knitting and the yarn does all of the work. She used Ureth yarn, and she had originally going to use blue as a solid, but the colors were really close with her multicolored yarn, so she ended up using the sandstone, which really set it off and let all those other colors shine out. And this is Sandstone by Leading Men Fiber Arts. That was in her stash. It looks so beautiful. Oh, I want to knit mine so badly, but I've got to get through a few projects before I can get there. But thank you for sharing that with us, and that's one of my favorite shawls. It is beautiful. So thank you so much, Teresa, for sharing that and letting me share that here. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is from WV River Bear. And WV River Bear just won one of my crochet giveaways. She won the big box of cotton yarn and hooks and stuff. But she's also a knitter, and she is sharing with us today a rainbow scarf project that she knitted, and the pattern is called the Ethereal Scarf, and it was by Cloud 9 Fibers, but it's knitted in a worsted way instead of fingering, and this is gorgeous. I love it's a perfect scarf for summer. And I love the rainbow colors of this scarf. It's just amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And if you see these ladies down in the comments below, make sure you send a special thank you to them for them sharing their projects with us in a video setting. And also tell them how great they did. I mean, each one of these are amazing. And we're just lucky that they shared them with us, and I hope that they inspire you in a way that they inspire me to pick up my needles and my hooks and get busy. So thank you so much again, and I appreciate you guys being here watching this video. And again, please don't forget, this is What Are You Knitting? Crocheting. Don't forget to share your projects down in the comments below, and let us all know what you guys are currently working on, or what you might, if you're not working on something right now, what you might want to work on next. What are you planning to do, and how your summer knitting and crocheting is going. And are you starting to think about Christmas stuff? Since we're doing Christmas in July, are you starting to think about what am I going to make for Christmas presents? Let us know down in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here, we do talk about knitting and crochet. We talk about yarn. We share our projects with each other. We're a big family here. We would love to have you join us if you enjoy that kind of stuff. So hit that subscribe button and join us, and let us get to know more about you and what you like to make. Now, for those of you who are my family, thank you from my heart. Always, I'm so happy to see each and every one of you and appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a lovely day. I will see you all very, very soon. Take care.